might not think this to look at his calm manner, but this is a man on the brink of superstardom. In only a few days' time, Hamish McGorach will step into the limelight of the Edinburgh stage, and from there, perhaps to world stardom.
Oh, Hamish, he's a bonny wee nephew. He used to like to come and play in my garden.
And when did you realise that he had a special talent?
I think it was when we walked up Blackford Hill there, and he was wheezing and puffing, and I was wheezing and puffing beside him. But he'd get up there much faster, even though he's a wee tiny lad. I thought, he's got some lungs on him.
I think I was the one to discover his talent. I do think that with a talent like that, it's important to be able to nurture it carefully and sensitively, because sometimes if you push them in the wrong direction, it can just become painful and unpleasant.
And what do you think now that he's made a success of himself, has a reputation?
Oh, I'm so proud of him, and I just love to go to every event he goes to. I'm a proud auntie.
It must take a lot of physical discipline to train your body to be able to produce these incredible sounds.
I have a very rigorous training regime, actually, you're right. I go to the gym regularly, and I have very specific exercises. It all comes from the diaphragm, and there's a lot of tongue work that needs to be carried out, a lot of muscle strengthening exercises. Yes, it's quite, it's been likened very much to Formula One racing driving, and that you're fairly static, but there's a lot of muscles being used internally, and you do tend to build up quite a big chest.
Of course, it was in 1745, after the uprising, that the English king in all his wisdom banned the use of the bagpipes in Scotland. They were seen, strange as it may seem now, as an instrument of warfare. That didn't stop Garach McGorach then, a man of enormous invention, and over many years he developed the technique, some say it was a skill given to him by God, of using various parts of his anatomy to duplicate the effects of the bagpipes. Unfortunately, not long after that, he was caught by the English, and Garach McGorach was sentenced to death, and his execution took place in 1746, one of the saddest days in Scottish music making.
The way I make my music is quite unique. It all starts here, in the diaphragm. You have to build up a lot of pressure. The first thing you start with is the backing, the drone. You create the drone at the back of your throat using the air pumped up from your diaphragm, and then many of the top notes come through your nose. So as you're manipulating your tongue, you have to use the tip of it to modulate the drone, and the back of the tongue to close off the linkage between your nose and your mouth to modulate the high notes. It's very complicated, but you can get some interesting chords and sequences from this particular skill.
But Professor McCallan's is not the only theory as to the origin of gut wheezing.
Zašto sam ovde? Zašto je on ovde? Ništa mi nije jasno. Došla sam samo da pozamim kašiku šećera.
I and my colleagues at the University Hospital in Glasgow have been carrying out a series of tests on Hamish in an attempt to understand better just how it is that he performs this incredible feat. And what we've discovered is something really quite astonishing. The space of Hamish's thorax, the chest cavity, is not what we would expect to find in an adult male.
Nobody can get quite the same resonance, quite the same quality of sound that I can from my enormous chest.
It is in fact something more akin to something we would expect in a mountain gorilla.
Well, I was on holiday in somewhere remote in the Highlands. I just bumped into him. He was practicing on a hillside, and I just thought, what a man. What drew me to him was his originality. I mean, he's unique. There's nothing like him. And the Americans, they're going to love him. Absolutely love him.
This be the music of the future brother. People are sick of these karaoke cover versions hacked out one after another by would-be celebs on these X, Y, Z Factor programs. They want something real. They want soul. They want heart. They want authenticity. And there is nothing more authentic than gut wheezing.
It belongs to my auntie, and if she doesn't actually know I've got it, it's been handed down through our family for generations. So if you're interviewing her later, whatever you do, don't tell her, okay? When my great-great-grandfather was hung, his grieving widow cut off his beard and preserved it. And I think you'll agree it's quite a special object.
See, this music we be making, have you quaking, we ain't faking, cause there be no hesitating, breaking boundaries from the start. Collaborating, making statements of intent to represent the content meant to dent the overspent torrent of this event. I dissent. This is music of the heart. Wheezing, brother.
He's got it all, he's got it. They're going to love him. They love the sculpt anyway, so. And this body thing he does, well, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of...
It's been a long journey from the historical highlands of Old Alba to the bright lights of Edinburgh City. But tonight is the night when all the training and heartache and history come together.
If you were to locate him in an orchestra, if you were to choose to put him as part of a larger musical ensemble, whereabout would you put him?
At the back.